Yes, good evening to all once again. Uh, Today we have joined in this Wednesday Dhamma reading session on 29th January 2025. Today we will be reading from the book The Path to Nibbana, written by David C. Johnson, a long student of Bhante Ramsey from Dhammasukha Meditation Center, USA. We will start the session by reading Namo Tassa. We can all read this. We can all recite. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangham namassami. Yes, today we will be continuing the reading from the Path to Nibbana book, which we have read till last week. I request Nanda Madam to start reading from this para.
This is from the Path to Nibbana by David Johnson and Venerable Vimala Ramsey, Chapter 5, Beginning Practice. We're starting on page 82.
I think, Madam, we have read till 79. I think we have read, Madam. I do not remember.
Page 82.
Okay, page 82, starting, Madam. Can you read the paragraph?
Yes, so your mind
Yes,
is
correct.
on
Yes.
this edge.
Yes, it's correct. You can start, Madam.
So your mind is on this itch, this pain, this thought. How did it get there? It didn't just jump there. There is a process that happens, and you begin to see how your mind moves from one thing to another. Don't think about that, but observe carefully how the process happens. We aren't talking here about analyzing why anything happens. Simply observe what is happening. Observe the way the mind moves and reacts in the present. That is the second part of mindfulness. So here what we are saying is there is a process happens when we sit down to meditate. We need to begin to see how our mind moves from one thing to another, and we should observe carefully when this process is happening. We shouldn't think about that, but we should observe carefully. We shouldn't analyze it, but we should simply observe what is happening in front of our closed eyes. Observe the way the mind moves and reacts in the present. So this is the second part of the mindfulness. I think last week we talked about the first part of mindfulness is first of all to accept and allow ourselves to be happy and peaceful, and then feel that happiness radiating to all sentient beings. So that's the first part of the mindfulness. So the second part of the mindfulness is the observing what is going on in front of our closed eyes. The truth is that when a sensation is there, it is there. It is okay for it to be there. You are going to have distracting thoughts and sensations come up, and that's okay. Thoughts are not your enemy. In fact, they are opportunities. Every thought, every feeling, every sensation that arises and distracts your mind also causes tightness. So when we sit to meditate, the reality is, the truth is that the sensations arise, and it is okay for the sensations to be there. They're going to have distracting thoughts, and they're going to have sensations come up, and that is okay. So we need to think that our thoughts and sensations and these distractions as opportunities, not as our enemies. So when we feel the thought, the feeling, the emotions, and the sensations arise, it causes tightness. That is what the distraction in the mind happens. The first noble truth is that there is suffering. The second noble truth is that suffering is caused by craving. The third noble truth is that there is the cessation of suffering. The fourth noble truth is that there is the path to the cessation of suffering. This path is the Noble Eightfold Path. This tightness is how you can recognize the very start of craving, and as you may know, the second noble truth says that craving is the cause of suffering. Life is not suffering. Craving is what makes it so. So the first noble truth is that there is suffering, and the second noble truth is the main cause of suffering is craving and ignorance. And the third noble truth is the cessation of suffering. And the fourth noble truth is the most important, which is the cessation of suffering and the path leading to the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. So the tightness we feel in our body and mind when we start to meditate, when the um, distractions arise, is the very start of the craving, which is the second noble truth. Craving is the cause of suffering, and the craving we crave because of ignorance. This is very important to understand that life is not suffering, but craving is what makes it so. It is the ignorance, the cause of craving, and the craving is the cause of suffering. Distractions are telling you what you crave, the things to which you are attached. Seeing and understanding what you like and dislike is the first step toward letting go of those attachments. So the reason why we have distractions when we are meditating is because of craving, because craving is the attachment. That's what result in distractions. So seeing this and understanding this, what you like and dislike is the first step towards letting go of those attachments and craving and desire. Your brain has two lobes that are contained in three membranes called the meninges. It is like a bag wrapped around your brain and spine. Anytime that there is a distraction, seems to be a movement in the brain, a tension or tightness, and something seems to move or stretch. Some will disagree with this, but something is felt. Thinking causes this tightness or tension to arise. We are able to observe this for ourselves when we see the arising of a thought. Now, this is very, very important to understand. Now, the brain has two lobes. They're called meninges, and this is a bag kind of a thing. It's wrapped around our brain and spine. So anytime we experience a distraction, it seems that there is a movement in the brain, a tension and a tightness, and it seems that there is a movement or a stretch, but we can definitely feel this movement and stretch when we experience distractions. Thinking causes this tightness and tension to arise. So this is very important to understand. It is the thinking, it is the thoughts that causes the tightness or tension to arise. So we are able to observe, watch, just note, just look for this tension and tightness for ourselves when we see these sensations and thoughts and feelings arise as a thought. Anytime you notice this tension and tightness, you want to actively relax and soften into it. By relaxing, you are releasing the craving. More on this when we get to the 6R. This is another extremely important point. Every time we have a thought, a feeling, and a sensation, we notice in the body and mind a tension and a tightness. So when we notice this, we need to actively relax our body. And when we actively relax our body, there's a softening action happens. By relaxing, when we relax, what we are doing is we are releasing the craving. Craving is what gives us create the tension and tightness. So when we actively relax our body, we are releasing craving. And when we come to explain 6R technique, we can understand even more better how relaxing the body release the craving. Now 6R is known as recognize, release, relax, re-smile, return, and repeat. When craving is released, there's a slight feeling of expansion in your head. Right after you relax, you will notice that your mind is very peaceful and calm. Your mind is alert and there are no thoughts. At this time, you have a pure mind. Now, bring that pure mind back to your object of meditation, the feeling of loving kindness and smiling, that warm, radiating, happy feeling. Now make another wish for your happiness. Put that feeling into your heart and radiate that happy feeling to yourself. Now, this is another very important point in practicing the 6R technique. When the craving is released by relaxing the body, we feel a slight expansion in our head. So right after we relax our body, we will notice that our mind is very peaceful and calm. And most of the time, when this happens, when we feel this, we naturally have a smile on our lips, on our face. Our mind is alert, but there are no thoughts. At this time, we have a pure mind. So this is why it is so vitally important to learn to relax our body. Now we bring this pure mind back to our object of meditation, which is radiating feeling of unconditional, universal, loving kindness with a smile on our lips. And this feeling of unconditional, universal, loving kindness, together with a smile, we can notice it. It's a warm, radiating, happy feeling around our chest area and also in the whole of our body. So we can make another wish for happiness. Put that feeling into your heart and radiate that happy feeling to yourself. It does not matter how many times your attention is pulled away by a distraction. Thoughts and sensations don't go away the first time you notice them, and that's okay. As these distractions come back again and again, you will become increasingly familiar with how they arise. With practice, their intensity and frequency will subside. So When we practice our meditation, it doesn't matter how many times our attention is pulled away by a distraction like a thought, a feeling, and a sensation. Thoughts and sensations most of the time doesn't go away for the first time we relax our body. So that is okay. We just have to notice them. So these distractions comes back again and again, and therefore we become familiar how this happens and how these thoughts and feelings and emotions and sensations arise in our mind. With repeated practice, the intensity and frequency of these distractions will subside. You want me to read on?
Yes, I will read for one page again. You can continue, madam. Hindrances.
Hindrances.
The Buddha talked about 5 hindrances to meditation. Hindrances are distractions that will pull you away from your object of meditation. 5 troublemakers who will surely come calling. Every distraction is based on at least one of the 5 hindrances. Often they come 2 or 3 at a time and gang up. The 5 hindrances are sensual desire. I like that. Otherwise known as lustful or greedy mind. You will hang on to things that are pleasant and want more. This will cause attachment to pleasant states of mind that have arisen in the past and desire for pleasant states to arise in the future. Here, Buddha is talking about the 5 hindrances during meditation. Like whenever a student practices meditation, then they will encounter these 5 hindrances. Here it is also called as 5 troublemakers. And when they may come at least, they will come one of the 5, it will come, or they may come in a group, 2 or 3 at a time. One of the first 5 hindrances is sensual desire. Sensual desire is I like that, and they are also known as lustful or greedy mind. Let us say a student having experienced a pleasant feeling in the past, and if he has an attachment to the pleasant state in the past, and he desires to have it in future, this is one of these hindrances. Hindrance causes basically make he makes the meditation away from the object of meditation. This is the first sensual desire. Second one, anger, aversion, fear. I don't like that. You will want to push away states of mind that you don't like. Or you might experience fear or anger over unpleasant or painful feelings already arising. You will try to push away and control anything causing you pain. You will even try to force your mind to experience things in a certain way that you think is right when you actually should just observe what is there. Now that is really overly controlling. The second hindrance, the during the practice of meditation, which we may encounter as a group or in a single, is fear, aversion, anger. What happens is, if someone experiences an unpleasant feeling, and since one student experience unpleasant feeling, he may try to push or control that pain, and he wants to force that experience to be moved away, controlled away. When this happens, then that is a not right practice. Like, let us say, whenever an unpleasant feeling is there, like we apply 6 hours to come back to your object of meditation. Will not force anything to do with, and we do not want to do, we we do not want to do in a things which they want. Just we will observe that our mind got distracted, then release the distraction by not involving into it, then relax the tightness present in our head, then come back to your object of meditation. That means we are not controlling here basically. We're just coming back to your object of meditation by 6 hours. Sloth and torpor, dullness and sleepiness. These cause lack of effort and determination because you have lost interest in your object of meditation. You will experience a mental fog. When you look at it closely, you will actually see that it has tightness and tension in it. There is even craving and sleepiness. And another important hindrance is sloth and torpor, which is dullness and sleepiness. Basically, when someone has a sleep, we generally, what we advise to the students is, whenever they are feeling sleepy during the practice of meditation, if it is a daytime, we tell them, we advise them to take a rest, enough rest for the body, because if body is having a sufficient rest, then our mind tends to be working well. And let us say, even though the person is having lot of sleep in the day, but still he is having a sleepiness or sloth and torpor. The reason because he maybe has lack of effort and determination. And one of the example which happens in retreat is, some like a teacher advises students to do walking meditation with backward. With facing frontward, they tell to choose a good place where they do not feel any comfortable while walking backward steps, to increase mindfulness or removing the sloth and torpor. Next hindrance is restlessness. With restlessness, you constantly want to move and change, to do something other than what you are doing, to be somewhere other than here. Restlessness can manifest as a very tight, unpleasant feelings in the body, mind. What it is saying, that the one of the hindrance being the restlessness. In this restlessness, basically one wants to do the things which they do not want. Like, they do something other than what they do, what they are doing. And the indication is that you will be, one student experiences a very tight and unpleasant feelings in the mind and body. Next one is doubt, and you're not sure you're following the instructions correctly, or even if this is the right practice. It makes you feel unsure of yourself, and may even manifest as lack of confidence in Buddha's teaching or your teacher, or both. Doubt, like if someone has a doubt or doesn't have any faith in the practice, the student may not progress well. one should experience the practice. And one, let us say, one starts to experience the practice, their faith increases, and their the doubt doesn't arise about the practice. When the hindrance arises, your job is neither to like them nor to fight with them. Your job is to accept them, to invite them in, and to offer them a tea. Don't feed them with your attention. Forcing and not liking their being there just gives them the attention they crave and makes them stronger. That's what happens with one pointed concentration. You force the hindrance away by practicing intense concentration. However, as soon as you stop meditating, they come back, sometimes even stronger. Like what here it is saying that whenever whenever an hindrance arises, our job is to just, okay, fine, we'll apply the 6 hours and will not feed, just will release the distraction, will not force anything. And the example here is like when some students practices one pointed concentration meditation practices, what one does is they put their energy in pushing the hindrances or suppressing the hindrances. It is like example of a plastic ball being inserted inside the water. Like when we insert the plastic ball inside the water of bucket, then it doesn't, it comes out. The similar way, whenever when one pointed concentration with someone comes suppresses the hindrances, then after stopping the meditation, the hindrances comes back with a very strong. Yes, Nanda madam, you can read from here. Paul sir, do you want to read?
No.
Fine. Nanda madam, you can read, madam. Nanda madam, your mic is muted.
If you just let hindrances be there, turning your attention to something that is wholesome instead, the energy inherent in them will gradually fade away. They will disappear like a fire that runs out of fuel. That's how you overcome the hindrances for good. The fire just goes out. In Pali, Nibbana translates as ni or no, and bana or fire. No fire, no craving, no hindrance. So what is important is we should not give attention to our hindrances. We just need to observe them. When we do not give too much attention to the hindrances, the hindrances lack the strength in them. The energy inherent in the hindrances gradually fades away. So that is why it is very important when we have hindrances just to observe, but not give any attention to them. Don't feed with energy and attention to the hindrances. When we do that, they will just disappear. They give an example. It's like a fire that runs out of fuel. So this is the way to overcome the hindrances for good by simply observing the hindrances when they arise and not giving attention, not giving energy. Um, so the Pali word nibbana is explained as ni means no, bana means fire. So nibbana is no fire, nibbana is no craving, nibbana is no hindrances. The six R's. Now we are going to give you specific instructions on how to work with the hindrances in the way the Buddha taught. Imagine for a moment the Bodhisattva resting under the rose apple tree as a young boy. He was not serious or tense. He was having fun watching his father's festival. Right then he attained to a pleasant abiding, which is jhana, as stated in the suttas. With a light mind, he was able to come to a very tranquil and aware state. So let's look at the 6R process, the specific instructions that the Supreme Buddha taught us. So if we imagine for a moment the Bodhisattva, the Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, as a young boy, resting under the rose apple tree as a young boy, he was not serious or tense. He was just having fun. He was happy. He was watching his father's festival. So because he was very relaxed and happy, he attained a jhana, which is a pleasant abiding, which we call a jhana state. This is what the sutta says. So with a light mind, the Prince Siddhartha was able to come to a very tranquil, aware state, a very peaceful state. So the key word is here aware state, a tranquil state. Later on the evening of his enlightenment, after he had tried every method of meditation and bodily exercise that was known in India at the time, he remembered this state. And he realized that this simple state, this tranquil, aware, and happy state was the key to attaining awakening. But how to convey this? Now, this is vitally important in our practice to understand this concept. So when the Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment, he remembered the state that he experienced as a boy. He realized that this simple state where he was happy and he was relaxed, he was tranquil, and yet he was aware, and he was in jhana when he experienced this peaceful, happy, relaxed, aware state. So that is the key to attaining awakening, he realized. So he was trying to figure out how he can teach people how to attain the jhana states by simply being happy and relaxed and aware and alert. When he was teaching, the Buddha worked largely with uneducated farmers and merchants. He had to have a simple, effective practice that was easy and worked quickly. He had to have a method by which everyone could experience the path and benefit for themselves easily and immediately. This is how he was able to affect so many people during his lifetime. So during the Blessed One's time, uh, he worked with largely farmers and merchants. Um, most of them were not very highly educated people. So therefore, the Blessed One was thinking that he had to have a simple, a very effective practice um, to teach these people, which is very easy to understand, and yet they can experience the jhanas very, very quickly. So you have to think of a method which everyone could experience and benefit for themselves easily and very quickly and immediately. So this is how he was able to affect so many people during his lifetime, millions of people. I think I read it maybe about approximately 30 million people followed our Supreme Gautama Buddha during that time. So, do you want to see clearly? It's easy. Lighten up, have fun exploring, relax and smile. Relaxing and smiling leads you to a happier, more interesting place. So, it is vitally important that we need to lighten up. We have to have a feeling of fun. We need to have a feeling of happiness. We need to relax our body and we need to smile. We need to have a smile on our face, smile on our lips. And if we do not have that, we need to intentionally create a smile on our faces, on our lips. We need to relax. We need to smile, which leads us to a happier, more interesting a feeling, and therefore we can practice this 6R. This is one of the key aspects why practicing a simple technique like 6R result in profound um, uh, experiences of jhanas very quickly. That sounds like great advice, but how do you do it when you have been carried away by distraction and you lose your smile? Just follow these steps. Recognize that mind's attention has drifted away and that you are lost in thought. You have forgotten what you were doing. You are no longer on your object of meditation. So, how do we practice this experience that the Blessed One experienced very easily, very quickly, experienced the jhanas. So what we have to do is when we experience distractions, when we start meditating, we are going to lose our smile. So we will be starting our meditation by relaxing our body, sitting very comfortably and relaxing our body and radiating unconditional universal kindliness, loving kindliness to ourselves and to all sentient beings. Our mind wanders to something else. So we will recognize, oh, our mind has drifted away from our object of meditation. We are thinking about something else. We've forgotten that we were meditating. So no longer we are on our object of meditation. We are no longer radiating loving kindness. We are thinking about something else. So this is, we call it, recognize. Release your attention, release your attachment to the thought or sensation by letting the distraction be, by not giving it any more attention. Just stop feeding it, just back away from it. So the moment we recognize our thoughts are not on radiating feelings of loving kindness, we need to stop that thought by releasing our attachment to the thought or the sensation or the distraction or the unwholesome thought. By we do that by not giving any more attention to the distraction. We just stop giving attention to it. We just stop feeding it. We just stop giving any more energy into it. We just back away from it. So that is we call release. Relax any remaining tension or tightness caused by that distraction. This is vitally important. Once we recognize our thoughts has wandered, we release it and then we relax the body. And when we relax the body, if we have any remaining tension or tightness caused by the distraction in our body, that reduces and it almost can disappear. So we need to re-smile. Put that smile back on your lips and in your heart. Feel that happy feeling of loving kindness again. So we recognize when a distraction arises, we recognize that we are not radiating loving kindness any longer. We release that distraction, we relax our body, and we re-smile. We put a slight smile back on our lips and on our heart and on our eyes and on our mind, and then we will feel again that loving kindness that we are radiating when we start our meditation practice. Number 5 is return or redirect. Gently redirect mind's attention back to the object of meditation, that is to metta. Continue with a gentle, collected mind to stay with your object of meditation. So We need to, when our attention is somewhere else, we recognize it, we release the tightness in the body, we relax our body, and we smile and we return to our object of meditation by radiating loving kindness. We redirect our wandered attention back to feelings of loving kindness. We do that gently, and bring our attention gently back to our object of meditation, which is radiating feelings of loving kindness, and which is the Pali word for loving kindness, it metta, metta. The Sanskrit word to metta is maitri, maitri. So we continue with a gentle, collected mind to stay with the object of meditation, which is radiating feelings of unconditional, universal loving kindness, feelings of metta, feelings of maitri. So repeat this entire practice cycle. Repeat this practice whenever your attention is distracted away from your object of meditation. So we need to repeat this cycle. The cycle is recognize, release, relax, smile, and return. That cycle we repeat every time our mind's attention moves away from our object of meditation, which is moves away from radiating feelings of unconditional, universal loving kindness, which is metta and karuna. We call these the 6 R's. They are drawn directly from the sutta text as part of right effort. The first 4 R's are the 4 right efforts, with the last 2 R to remind you to return and repeat as needed. Now, I can't remember the sutta number, but definitely there is a sutta which explains the 4 right efforts. And in TWIM we call it 6R. I think Bhante Vimala also calls 6R the harmonious practice. The normal English translation is right effort. Notice that you never push anything away. You never try to control anything. Trying to control is using craving to eliminate craving. So we got to remember never to push away our hindrances and never to control our hindrances. When we control the hindrances, what we are doing is we are using craving to eliminate craving. We are not removing craving.
Yes, Nanda madam. I think we can conclude here reading session and we can share some experiences. Would you like to share, madam?
Well, this passage is very, very relevant to our practice of 6R. This is exactly what I do every day. Um, I make sure before I start my meditation that I do a walking meditation so that my blood is circulating properly in my body, and I make sure that I relax my body, sit very comfortably on a chair, and take a few deep breaths and relax my body and close my eyes and have a light, soft light in my room, and I start radiating feelings of loving kindness to myself for a few minutes, and then to radiating the same feelings to all sentient beings in all the 10 directions and all directions. And when I keep on doing this, of course, I do experience distractions. When I notice the distractions, I do use the 6R technique. I recognize that my mind is no longer on the, I'm not no longer radiating feelings of loving kindness, and I release it, and I consciously relax my body and put a smile on my face, and I start radiating loving kindness. I repeat this throughout my meditation period session, and very quickly the body becomes relaxed and the mind becomes calm, and I experience jhanas. So this is very relevant and very relevant to our practice, and it's very, very important to understand that how important it is for us to relax our body. And when we relax our body, naturally we have a smile on our lips. If we don't have a smile, we need to intentionally put a very slight smile on our face that will uplift our mind, and therefore it is so easy our mind to move into jhanas.
Yes, madam. I would like to add here, when you start the meditation, when you are in a state of nothingness or quiet mind, if you are completely away from, whenever you get any hindrances, you at that state, what we advise for students is to just relax instead of following all complete 6R. And at the beginning, for advanced students who practice regularly, what we tell is, we directly tell them to start the practice with sending loving kindness to all directions, and let let our mind rest in any of the jhanas. I think, Paul sir, do you want to say something?
No, I've got nothing to add. I
Good,
like
good,
I like the book. I like the story.
good, good. Now we will read the sharing merit all together. All can read together. May
May
suffering ones
suffering
be
ones be
suffering
suffering free,
free, and the fear
and the
struck
fear struck fearless
fearlessly.
be.
May the
May
grieving
the
shed
grieving
all
shed
grief,
all grief,
and may all
and may all
beings find
beings
relief.
find relief.
May all
May
beings share
all
this
beings
merit
share this
that
merit
we have thus
we have thus
acquired,
acquired
the
for
acquisition
the
of
action
all
of
kinds of
all kinds of
happiness.
happiness.
May beings
Beings
inhabiting space
inhabiting
and earth,
space and earth,
devas and
devas
nagas
and
of
nagas
mighty
of
power,
mighty power,
share this merit
share
of
this merit of
ours.
ours.
May they long
May they
protect the
long
Buddha
protect the
dispensation.
Buddha's dispensation.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu. Would
Thank
you,
you, Nanda
sir,
Madam. Thank you, Pastor.
sir, would you like to mention that you said any student interested in meditating, they can log in half an hour or 40 minutes or 1 hour
Yes,
early?
yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
madam. Yes. Thank you, Nanda Madam. Thank you, Paul, sir. Thank you, Sindhu. Thanking you all. Wishing all happiness. Thank you.
Yeah, Paul and we logged in early, about 1 hour early. It was a great meditation. Thank you very much.
Great. Excellent. Excellent. Thanking you all.